It's Autism Awareness Month, so you know what that means. In all seriousness though, I wanted to take a couple minutes to make a video that's a bit different from my usual content. I wanted to talk about autism. I mean, it's 2025, I know everyone, their mother has autism at this point. Hell, even Jacksepticeye was diagnosed with autism, which wasn't really necessary, to be honest. We all knew. His set base actually consists of like 99.9% autistic people, and he acts surprised like bro didn't meet all the requirements during his 10 plus years on the platform. I mean, the man's channel is literally an archive of all the needed materials for an autism diagnosis. Anyway, I just wanted to sit down and talk about stuff related to autism, and I guess why I think it's important to be aware and educated on the topic. For those who don't know me, my name's Tommy. Hi, or you can call me Biggin. It's my channel. Subscribe! And I'm autistic. I also have ADHD, so I guess I would be considered ADHD? This coupled with my various mental illnesses, it looks like I got the Autism Deluxe bundle for a low price of fuck my life 99. Sorry. Anyways, autism has become increasingly prevalent in today's society, and a lot of people see that as a chance to jab at the community, saying things like everyone has autism now, or you're just faking it for attention, or vaccines cause autism. No, my friends, let me educate you. You see, many years ago, the DSM-5 manual was forged by the holy gods known as the American Psychiatric Association. However, they left out one key ingredient, a touch of the tism. Just a sprinkle is all it took. You see, if a neurotypical describes autism, they might describe it as a neurological disorder that causes difficulty with communication and learning. And well, you see, that's where the problems come in. While that can be an accurate definition for some, and overall it's generally the biggest issue a lot of autistic people face, people limit autism to a simple definition that's not universally applicable to every autistic person. They don't take into account that, like many other disorders, autism is based around a spectrum instead of a linear line of presets. Maybe that's a bit confusing, but imagine you're playing Skyrim and you've leveled up a bunch of your skills, but you're probably leaning more towards 2 or 3 different areas, like maybe stamina and strength. But yeah, you're probably leaning towards like stamina and strength, while someone else might be leaning more towards a mage build, like mana and I don't know. That's a bad example. Here, put up on a picture of a spectrum. My point is, we don't all use the same builds, but we all have similarities and differences. You may have more strength while I have more mana. Now, a real life example would be, say, I'm fairly okay at communication. You know, I can hold up a conversation relatively well. I think I can speak pretty good. But other people might be nonverbal, or they might have nonverbal episodes. So another example of this would be, poor eye contact or noise sensitivity. You might have like high levels of poor eye contact and noise sensitivity, whereas I might, I might be able to maintain eye contact a little bit more. I might not be as sensitive to noise, stuff like that. You know, everyone's different, and I'm sure there's a better way of explaining that. Sorry, it's been a while since I've really talked about this topic, so I'm a little out of it. But yeah, autism is literally in the name, autism spectrum disorder, but for some reason people associate it with a straight linear line, which sucks because that's not right. But you know, autism is an interesting disorder, in my opinion. I've met a couple of autistic people in my time, and their personalities varied so significantly from one another, and that's exactly the point I'm trying to make. Don't group all autistic people into one category. So I'm not as smart as little Jimmy over there, who's a math savant. So I'm not as creative as Sarah with her little artistic intricacies. It's me, and I know who I am. I definitely would like to pursue more artistic stuff. I just lack the time or motivation, and with focusing on college work and then YouTube, while also taking time for myself, it's just really difficult and demotivating, especially when I see all these other autistic people out there doing so many wonderful things, and they're just so like naturally good at it. And then I'm just over here in my little corner watching Better Call Saul, smoking weed, and playing Call of Duty while listening to Chapel Roan every night. Fun fact though, I actually did have a YouTube channel for a couple of years where I made autism TikTok compilations. It was called Autistically Autistic. I know, what a creative name. In retrospect, this came with a lot of risk towards reinforcing some of those autism stereotypes, but for the most part, I feel like it was a positive thing. It created an inclusive community where people were super supportive towards each other. People would even talk about seeking a diagnosis and how the videos were super helpful for them to feel seen and whatnot. And honestly, that was just something that really warmed my heart. And one of the biggest things that made me keep going for so long. Honestly, the only reason I really stopped was just because I didn't have the time to do it. I mean, it wasn't hard. I just watched TikToks, but then TikTok updated at a point where finding tags for autism was really hard. And it would just show me videos I've already seen. And obviously I wasn't going to reuse the same videos constantly, but eventually it was just, I couldn't do it anymore efficiently, so I just gave up on it. But yeah, I just wanted to make a little bit of a ranty video, I guess, where I talked about autism and stuff, just because I used to be a super heavy advocate, and again, a big reason I stopped. I used to have a channel where I kind of just made educational autism videos. I probably shouldn't have done that at the time. I was so uneducated on myself. It was when I was learning about myself. As I was learning things, I would incorporate it into videos. But now I'm kind of fully educated. I don't know. I almost have a bachelor's in psychology, maybe. I'm pretty much done with all my classes, so I would say I'm relatively up there in knowledge on autism, coupled with my extensive knowledge of myself, my experiences, as well as that of others. But a big reason I stopped doing that was just, again, time, motivation, and just, you get a lot of hate. People really hate autistic people. I don't know if you knew that, but for some reason, people have a vendetta against autistic people. But honestly, it's really funny when I look back at some of the hate comments I got, and how blatantly ignorant some of these people were, and probably still are to this day. No matter how much irrefutable proof you provide to them, they still just believe people are faking autism, or it isn't real, or vaccines. It's sad, really. And confession time, I would sometimes egg these people on, because I just love pissing these kind of people off. It's my favorite pastime. I'm just that fucking petty. And again, I know autism has become increasingly prominent, and the thing with that is it's only due to an increased prevalence of doctors who are more educated on autism, because some of them are autistic now. It literally took us becoming doctors to finally do something right in the healthcare system. It's also a bit of systematic change and shit like that, you know, more people are advocating for autism. And so some of the criteria required for a diagnosis has been lowered somewhat, and doctors vary. So some may be more lenient towards giving a diagnosis than others. But getting an autism diagnosis is hard no matter what, and if anyone's out there seeking one, I really wish the best to you. It's especially challenging in adulthood, just because of like, you've learned to mask all your autistic traits over the years to fit in with society. And I was kind of lucky. I got diagnosed at 10, but I don't remember it that much, to be honest. I remember going to the doctors where they would test me on things like, what face is this guy making? Like, bitch, he looks like he's having an orgasm. I do recall getting an MRI or something one time for some reason. I guess they were looking at my brain. To be fair, if they looked at it now, they would probably declare me brain dead with the copious amounts of weed and brain rot that has undoubtedly altered my brain chemistry. Moral of the story, don't be an asshole and support your loved ones this month, whether friends, family, partners, whatever. Show some love for the autistic folk out there, or just show some love in general, you know? It never hurts to just be a nice person for no reason, you know? But thank you guys for watching, listening to my little TED Talk. Hope you guys have, I know this video was weird. I just want to talk, you know? I never make these type of videos, and I've wanted to just sit down and put out my feelings sometimes, and I just never get around to doing it. And you know, it's an important month for not necessarily me, but for the autistic community in general. It's the most prominent month of the year that autistic people get recognition, and unfortunately that also includes hate. So just make sure you're supporting each other out there. Make sure you're helping each other out, and just spread some love, stuff like that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and peace.